25 years ago, reached out to me this summer and asked if he can come and talk to you guys. And of course I was all for it, because if you had me last year, I know you've seen these videos. If you had me this year, you've seen the videos already and you've heard the stories. All right, let's begin with talking about navigating barriers. All right, to my freshmen and sophomores. You're doing something that's more difficult than any of your colleagues, that's any of your classmates that you had last year. You're college students now. All right, you're gonna be faced with choices and decisions that people that are your age don't typically have the opportunity to do. All right? These choices and decisions all have consequences, and consequences don't necessarily have to be bad. We always consider consequences bad, but the consequence of studying, going to tutoring, and things like that are you get an A. And even if you get a C, you've won a teacher over that's gonna allow you to give them a little bit of extra credit or things like that. That's a consequence of always trying your hardest, showing pride in everything you do, and representing your family, CPAC, and everything else to the fullest. All right, these things follow you. I remember him 25 years ago. He was a shining light in my class, and he was difficult. He was a difficult student, I'm not gonna lie. I sat, every morning it was like, Willis, sit down, Willis. Stop talking, Willis. Leave that girl alone, Willis. She doesn't want to be worried about you right now, Willis. You know what? But Willis never stopped. He didn't allow his light to be dimmed. All right, and I'm glad he didn't listen to me. You know, like I wasn't mature enough to understand that that's what I was doing to that young man at that time. So I just want to let you know that whatever your path is in life, don't let anyone say that it can't be done. All right, he came from the toughest neighborhood in Atlanta, Georgia. And his whole life he heard he couldn't do it. From the time he was born until yesterday. He's been hearing that, and he's been knocking these barriers down. And if he can do it, you can do it. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and let you look at the clip that he went viral on. And after the clip is played, without further ado, I'm gonna introduce WorkitWillis. I know him as just Willis, but apparently he's grown famous on me, and his name is WorkitWillis now. So could you go ahead and play the clip? This is the clip that you're familiar with. One morning I woke up on ESPN and I saw a former student, and this was what I woke up to. Give him a round.
First of all, I'm gonna give it up to him again, but he was a teacher, he was a mentor, and he's family to me. So I love you, brother.
Love you too.
I try not to get emotional when I do these things. But good morning, CPAC.
Good morning.
I came like, I don't know, 700 miles to see you guys. So I need a little bit more energy than that. Good morning, CPAC.
Good morning.
I back up everything Mr. Turner said, because while I was out, my phone was blowing up. People were calling me trying to make some money, but I'm out of town right now. But I think what I'm doing here is way bigger. First of all, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm doing it for you, but I'm also doing it for me, because I'm trying to embark on a new journey. I would love to be able to do this more often, and this is the start of something brand new for me. But I want you guys to stand up right now. Just everybody stand up. Get that energy flowing. I don't want nobody falling asleep on me. We're gonna do a quick little chant to ourselves and to each other. First of all, put your hand over your heart. We're gonna do this little quick play. It's 2 words. I want you to say it loud, say it proud. I matter.
I matter.
And then I want you to look at somebody else. Turn to somebody. Look at somebody else. I don't want you to say,
I don't know if you matter.
You matter.
You matter.
I don't know if you matter.
All right? Everybody can sit down now.
Fuck.
Simmer down, simmer down, simmer down. As Mr. Odom said, they call me WorkitWillis, but as he met me 25 years ago, my name was just Willis Harris. I'm known as the social media WorkitWillis, and that video clip that would not play is the reason why they call me WorkitWillis, because that emote, that dance was purchased by Epic Games and became the emote known as the Work It, so I just attached it to Willis, WorkitWillis. There you go. How do I describe myself? I'm part entertainer, part motivator, part strategist, but simply put, don't laugh at me, I'm an oral farmer, all right? That's what I do, don't laugh at me. But as for today, I'm here to inspire somebody, so I want y'all to listen up, because I don't know who I'm here to inspire, but it's somebody, so pay attention. First of all, I wanted to give the flowers to somebody that you guys know very well. You know him as a hometown hero. Literally, a Google search will tell you that he is incredible. I researched him on Google, and it literally was like, he is incredible. I was like, yes, that is true. Mr. Odom, or as I call him, OD, is a fantastic person, a remarkable role model, and a hometown hero, as I said before. This has been true for a long time, and he only looked 25 years old, but it's been true for at least 25 years. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I hail from the west side of Atlanta, Georgia, West End, very tough neighborhood. I went to Booker Taliaferro Washington Comprehensive High School. As we discussed, it was the first black high school east of the Mississippi, but it's also spawned a lot of other Booker Taliaferro Washington high schools, but we were the first in Atlanta, Georgia. And I came from a dilapidated apartment home, and my mother was mentally ill. And I had a lot of barriers knocked down when I was growing up. The odds were always against me. I had complications being born. I wasn't supposed to mentally develop past the age of 5. I had many health complications even to this day. And in my particular neighborhood, I wasn't supposed to grow up to make it out of the hood past the age of 25. That is, without being in a box or being in a jail cell. And it's true what they say, it takes a village to raise a child. So it goes without saying that many people in my community helped raise me. Not only did I make it out of the hood, but I became what I always wanted to be, known around the world for what I love to do, putting smiles on people's faces by entertaining. My mother had paranoid schizophrenia, and that means that she heard and saw things that were not there. And she had many limitations on her, confined her to our small poverty-stricken home, but confined to the levels of her own mind. She never got on a plane. She never owned a driver's license, and no, she never drove. Every place we had to go outside our neighborhood, we had to get on the train and we had to take the bus. And so with her being my mother and sole provider, that meant that I was limited in mobility as well. I never got a ride to the mall. I never got a ride to church. I never got a ride to school. I had to walk all those places. You hear the old stories. I had to walk up 3 miles in the snow, all that kind of stuff. I had to walk everywhere I went. So my first lesson to you all is don't take anything for granted. Mr. Odom played a pivotal role in my life by teaching me how to drive. It was a mutual benefit because that also meant that I would help him move one day. And I helped him change residences, and it was a lot of moving. And I was an asthmatic, so I was out of breath. But we were driving around in a U-Haul, and it was not his personal vehicle. That's why he much obliged to let me drive it. But he showed me how to drive, and it was a simple gesture that gave me the skill that I would remove the shackles from being, immobile. I could move around now. I got freedom from that. I learned to drive in a truck, and I still drive a truck to this day. Soon after I got my first job, I got my first car, and then I got my first license. And yes, I did that backwards, which got me into a lot of trouble, but we'll save that for the next speech. I went on a lot of spur-of-the-moment trips to Florida, and it was Florida that would end up being my home. That's where I reside now, and I met the love of my life, raising 2 beautiful children in Florida. I succeeded in my first career and gained worldwide acclaim and etched my way into history. The first one to sell an emote to Fortnite, going viral pretty much like twice a year. Most people would wake up after a game and call me and say, I just saw you on ESPN again. And then, like I said, I sold my emote to Epic Games, creators of Fortnite. after they sued, Carlton sued them, Backpacks Kids sued them. They ain't gonna tell you that, they ain't gonna put it in the history book, Black History right here. Your boy sold the emotes Fortnite, first one to do it. You probably had no idea I attributed so much success to you, but give it up for Mr. Odom. Thank you very much. So now for the message. I want to leave you guys with some vocabulary words. I'm big on vocabulary and some wisdom to guide your lives with. Write it down or take a mental note, but definitely repeat after me. Culture.
Culture.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Improvement.
Improvement.
All right, you can stop repeating for a second. I know how y'all like to do. But I'm gonna ask you to repeat these words. Skibbity.
Skibbity.
Pause for laughter. Delulu.
Delulu.
All right, so I'm gonna focus on the first three that I talked about. Culture, consistency, and improvement as the guiding light to the speech. I call them the 3 C's. Again, they are culture, consistency, and constant improvement. So that's where the third C comes in. It's like CC, constant improvement. Now, there are multiple definitions of culture, but for the purposes of this discussion, we will use the definition. Culture, the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. We, as productive people, must learn to understand culture. Me and Mr. Odom have been talking about this over and over. In every conversation we have, culture comes up. And not even talk about you guys are talking about this speech, but that word just keeps coming up. You have to understand culture. Now, when I say culture, I mean knowing the nature of the people and politics that surround you. Because no matter where you are, there is a common culture. And it's in your best interest to assimilate that culture. They call it reading the room. More specifically, we want to hone in and drive a mutual benefit, learning the culture everywhere we go. In this room, there's culture. In the school, there's culture. In the country, there's culture. When you go to work, there's culture. But we want to create the culture of success. And success doesn't happen by accident. It is built step by step through the culture that you create. And we were talking about this over and over again. Either you create your own culture or you learn to assimilate into the culture that you are around or surrounded by. I have worked for many sports teams, including the Atlanta Braves, the Harlem Globetrotters, the Tampa Bay Rays. I currently hold a position with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm also working again for the Atlanta Braves. So excuse me for speaking in terms of sports, but think about a professional sports team. The players can be talented, but if the locker room is divided, if no one believes in each other, that team will never win a championship. A culture of success means surrounding yourself with people who push you higher, setting standards that don't compromise. You don't compromise on your standards. And you believe that every small action counts. When you walk into a room with confidence, you want to show up prepared. When you celebrate effort just as much as results, you are creating a culture of a winning success. Culture brings success, guys. Here's the truth. You either set the culture or the culture sets you. And to ask yourself, what type of energy are you carrying into the rooms that you enter? Consistency builds trust. Trust in yourself. Trust from others. And the beautiful part is you don't have to be extraordinary every day. Now, there are multiple applications of culture. And we talk about consistency, and what I mean with the word consistency is conformity of application of something or steadiness. Keep on doing that thing that you believe in, the thing that you want to do. Now, referring back to sports, culture is like playbook and the locker room atmosphere, and consistency is the performance on the field. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect motivation. But success doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being consistent. Let me put it this way. It's not what you do once in a while that changes your life. It's what you do daily. Champions aren't made on game day. They're made in the hours when nobody is watching. And I heard him say, like, you can do all the good things in life, and then you do one bad thing, everybody focuses on that one bad thing. We were talking about that too. Looking back at some people we graduated with. You look them up, you Google them, and the first thing that comes up is the thing they did wrong. You want to talk about that? So it's what you do daily that creates consistency, that creates success. When you stick to the reps, you stick to the practice and the preparation, consistency is what you are building. Everybody repeat it after me one more time, consistency.
Consistency.
My third point, well, first of all, trust in yourself and trust in others if you feel like you can trust them, because everybody can't be trusted. But the beautiful part is you don't have to be extraordinary every day. You just have to keep showing up, giving effort, and refusing to quit. That's what I did my entire life. I told them statistics don't mean anything to me. I wasn't supposed to make it out of my hood to be 25 years old. I wasn't supposed to make it mentally to be 5 years old. There's a lot of statistics in my life that kept me from moving forward, barriers to entry that I had to knock down. Now, my third point is constant improvement, and it brings me back to Booker T. Farrell Washington Comprehensive High School, the first black high school east of the Mississippi, and our lovely principal we talked about many times, who was a great leader. She would always say, every time we would get together, she would say, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Now, to add my 2 cents, how often should you shoot for the moon? The answer is early and often. How long should you shoot for the moon? Until your last breath. Because the final piece of the 3 C's is constant improvement. Every day, every month, every year, every decade, you're trying to get better. I don't want to just be the dancing guy all the time. I'm over that. I've been in costumes for over 20 years. I rocked that house already. Now I'm trying to rock this one. Once you have culture and consistency, the question is, am I growing? Am I getting better? The most successful people, they never arrive. They stay hungry. They say, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Don't let yesterday's win make you soft for today's challenge. And that goes true for losses as well. Don't let a loss discourage you. A loss just means you're trying. Improvement doesn't mean giant leaps every time. It means small tweaks, small lessons, small adjustments that over time create massive transformation. I'm not the same exact kid I was 25 years ago. I'm changing. I got 2 kids now. I got reasons to be different. Think about your phone. A lot of you have them. I think all of you have them. It's constantly what?
Distracting.
That too. But it's constantly updating, constantly improving. Why? Because if it didn't, it would become outdated and irrelevant. Guess what? The same goes for us. If we are not learning, we're falling behind. Because every day, the world is changing and moving and growing. And so the question is, what one area can you upgrade in your life starting today? Just one small step. As they say, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. You have to stay relevant. And that's how you stay unstoppable. So if you take nothing else from me today, remember this. Create a culture of success. Be consistent in your actions and never stop improving. That's not how you win, but also that's how you keep winning. That's not just how you win, that's how you keep winning. And let me leave you with a bonus message, and that is to manifest. What you manifest today, you will become tomorrow. I remember being your age, I remember being even smaller and telling myself, I want to be famous. And now I'm known all around the world. And unfortunately, we talked about this as well, being rich and famous are two different things. I manifested being famous, then manifest being rich. So now I'm gonna manifest being rich starting today. What are you gonna manifest? Say it to yourself every day in the mirror. Whatever that thing is that you want to attain in life, you gotta believe it first. Look at yourself every day and tell yourself that thing. I'm gonna do this. I wanna do this. I want this in my life. You make that happen with your brain power. So I didn't forget about two other words, vocabulary words, skibbity and delulu. Don't laugh at me. There's reasons why I chose those words. And the reason why I chose those two words was to prove a point. Even the dictionary follows the rules of the 3 C's that I taught you here today, those 3 C's. And these were slang words at one point. This was in somebody's head that they just spouted out skibbity one day. Somebody just said, you the Lulu one day. And it's in the dictionary. As of August 25, those 2 words are now in the dictionary. So, any Cambridge dictionary you pick up after this month, August 2025, is gonna have those 2 words in it. So Cambridge Dictionary understands culture. It read the room and stayed at the forefront of human intellectuality. Cambridge Dictionary understands consistency. The book has consistently been our go-to for the English human language for as long as I can remember. Cambridge Dictionary is constantly improving. Skibbity is defined as a non-lexical, context-dependent word that can mean cool, bad, or it could even have no meaning at all, just skibbity. But for the purposes of the day, we're gonna say cool or bad and meaning good. So it's used humorously, but it's also used to express enthusiasm. So like I said, for the purposes of the day, we're gonna define it as cool. Delulu, everybody say delulu? I just like the way that rolls off the tongue. It's defined as believing things that are not real or true, often used humorously, once again, to describe unrealistic expectations or fantasies, particularly in relation to celebrities or future aspirations. What am I saying here? Words change over time. Language changes over time. Just like words and languages change, so should we. Now, before I get out of here, I'm going to use, in an old preacher method, I already used it earlier, but I didn't say the term, turn and look at your neighbor. So I'm going to tell you to turn and look at your neighbor. Everybody look at your neighbor. Teachers, you too, look at somebody out there. You got to talk to somebody. I'm going to tell Mr. Odom. Repeat after me. If you think you can keep me from being skibbity, then you are the Lulu.
You are the Lulu.
Stay humble. Learn the culture.
Learn the culture.
Stay consistent.
Stay consistent.
And keep improving.
And keep improving.
On skibbity.